2,640-pound little KZ couples camper landing here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is kind of great because it gives us a slide out for some destination space, but it's never going to be too big or too heavy. Now I want to make sure I don't miss any of the storage in this because small trailers often kind of struggle for storage, and I think they did as good as they really could have here in this one. That is going to kind of be like your dresser above the bed. You'll find a nice closet space in the back of the camper. We'll get there in a minute. This is a 4 or 5 cubic foot. Sometimes these combo fridge freezers become a little tricky for me to pick out. It looks like maybe it needs to get wiped out real quick. It just didn't get aired out enough. No big deal there. That's not a major thing. And that's why I call this fridge freezer. A lot of people don't realize when you see the one door, they think, oh, I don't get a freezer. You do. It's just a little popsicle pocket, I guess, if you will. Now, they have, every little nook and cranny space they could, they opened up in here, which I think overall they did a nice job of. And then over here under the sink, you see that there's a huge chunk of space. Now, for a little bit of weight and cost savings, this factory did choose to go with like the plastic slide-out tote jobs, but frankly, they work like drawers, and a lot of older classic campers used to do that all the time, and they got along just fine. A little notch of storage next to the microwave overhead here, and as we get back to this rear closet, if you look up top, a little remnant from the previous owners, you can see that when it came time to clean up tough spills and messes, they relied on only the quilted quicker picker-upper Bounty. Sorry. Guys, I have done, in my career, over 7,000 RV videos, and sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I just got to do things to keep myself entertained. Now, our team was a little Johnny on the spot today, and they got to this thing before I could. They already got the slide out, and I don't have a battery handy to me. I've got all of mine depleted. I have a fleet of batteries, by the way. With all the content we record, sometimes I just can't keep up. What I can tell you is this, if you're noticing, is a very shallow slide out. So when that slide is closed, the sofa will come close to just about there. You'll always have, if you're looking at the floorboards, about 2 to 3 planks worth, if you want to call it that, of space to be able to walk through. So this RV is 100% fully functional and accessible without ever opening the slide out. It's just, you're really going to appreciate having the slide. Up top here, also, this is pretty common in little campers since they don't usually have venting stovetop hoods, which this one does not. You have that extra vent up there to let some of the heat out of it. Now, the sofa, of course, can fold down into a little sleeper if need be, and you'll notice, like, we haven't gone through and detailed and cleaned this. This is just how it looked when the folks were done. Looks pretty sharp. It needs maybe just a quick surface clean. That's it. And now, the mattress. Woo! They did some upgrading here, buddy, compared to the original back-breaking wafer of death that almost every little camper comes with. I am not sniping or criticizing this brand of RV. Almost every little camper brand, you're not going to really want to spend an extended time on that mattress. So these folks upgraded. Side mount air over here, pretty common in little trailers. It helps keep the overall height down, and no bigger than this RV is, it's more than enough. Now, you do have a front viewing window up there with a shield on it, very similar to kind of like how J-Flight did it for a number of years. And your entertainment unit, it's in an interesting position because like our TV hookups are over here, and I doubt those were ever used. A lot of little trailers don't tend to use their TV hookups. But you've got that Bluetooth stereo right above the bed, which is kind of neat because you can reach it like here. Like if I'm standing here in the living room, I can just walk over, clickety-clack, kicking on the jams, whatever works for you. But, and the white panel above that, by the way, is inside, outside, or simultaneous speaker output. But what's nice is like if you're laying in bed, you just kind of, on a drizzly, rainy day, want to stretch out, you can just kind of reach up, kick the radio on if you want to. Some neat things there. Now, there's not exactly like a CPAP headstand on here or anything like that. I think this RV originally came with a shorter bed. This is an 80-inch queen that's in it right now. So I think it originally had like a headboard where you could do a CPAP stand or something, but you still have USB plugs on the right, household plugs on the left, gets the job done pretty well. Overall, I mean, considering the size of the camper, pretty good use of the space in here. Now, also a little pro tip from your Uncle Josh, the RV nerd. When you are laying back on a bed like this, to get as nice of an open, descriptive angle shot as possible, make sure you duck so you don't clock your flippin' noggin on the overhead cabinet you literally just got done talking about. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Anyway, that mirror right there on the door, by the way, that's something Clipper does quite a bit too, the Coachman Clipper. It makes this little thing look and feel much, much bigger, and frankly, it's nice to be able to, you know, see what you look like before the neighbors do, if you care. When I'm camping, I don't care what I look like. That is 100% not my problem, 100% the neighbor's issue. Foot flush stool there, simple kind of tub shower combo. This does not have shower surround paneling, so when you are done taking a shower, what you need to do is just take your towel, wipe the wall panels down real quick, and frankly, it's not that big a deal. People get really spooked by it because, I mean, you know, the number one thing you don't want to see in an RV is water, because water damage, but it has to be left there unattended and exposed. It's no different than, like, anything else. Like, if you spill water on a magazine, as long as you wipe it up real quick, it's not gonna hurt anything. Now, it's fairly obvious at this point, this is a late model camper that's in pretty darn good shape. The decals, the tires, all that stuff looks good. So I want to talk about a couple things that are maybe a little less obvious. Like the fact that this does have 4-corner stabilizer jacks. And I mention that because that's not something you always find in the single axle market. So it adds a lot of stability. You may not also pick up immediately that the previous owner did swap out the standard tongue jack for a power tongue jack for easier setup. That is a flip-up front window, windshield, whatever you want to call it. I like that the windows are tinted. You know, helps keep the sunshine out as well as the nosy neighbors, as it were. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you may recognize this RV does have what I've called a beer can roof. It's got like a tin skin roof. There's really not a lot of decking up there. So when it does come time for like seasonal maintenance and upkeep, what you really need to do is you're going to be beside this thing up in the air with a ladder. And if you want to get up on the roof, you really want to lay some kind of flat board decking down below you to help distribute your weight. Now, other than that, there's really not a whole lot of reason you should be on the roof of this thing. And ideally, you're in somewhat of a more controlled circumstance when it does come maintenance time. We do have power awning. There are outside speakers for your entertainment enjoyment. Simple side mount solar prep plug if you just want to keep the batteries and the lights and fans going, you know. And short of that, just a simple, no-nonsense camper. I think if you're looking for your first one, or if you're just like, man, I just don't need something large. I want to go off grid. I want to get out in the mud and the blood. I want to do some state park, national park camping where the big rigs have a hard time navigating through the places. I think this would be an easy towing little thing. And I mean, at 2,640 pounds, I think that you're a prime candidate for potential minivan towability. Obviously, we will always check your specs here at Haylett RV, but you know, you don't have to have a half ton. A mid-size SUV should handle this, assuming proper tow package, pretty readily. And if you need anything else, like if you need some hitching, if you need some accessories like leveling blocks or, you know, wheel chocks or something, we got those here at Haylett RV. RV financing, you got a trade, we do everything. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.